What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Thank you so much for tuning in. It's me, Mikey fucking Pipes. And no, I have not had my coffee yet this morning. It is Monday, April 7th, 2025. A little after 6:30 here in the morning in the great state of New York. Who would have thought? I would never have guessed. If you told me Mikey Pipes, we're talking about 5 years ago. Yeah, let's bring it back 5 years ago. Let's go back to COVID is running wild. It is April 2020. COVID, we're all in shutdown. We are all in quarantine. You guys remember that word, quarantine? Quarantine, unless you're an essential worker. Baruch Hashem, I was an essential worker. Thank God. I think I probably would have murdered my whole entire fucking family. I probably would have. Just keeping it real. I probably would have murdered my whole fucking family, including my in-laws. Quarantine. Remember that bullshit, ladies and gentlemen? Do you remember that bullshit they fed us? Quarantine. Wow. Meanwhile, our governor, while he was allegedly banging his staffers, right up to Keister, he was letting COVID patients back into senior homes. You know, assisted livings and nursing homes and things like that. Yeah, remember that shit? Yeah, I remember that shit. I'm gonna do an iced coffee this morning, even though it's like 40 fucking degrees outside. Shit, I don't know. Look at that. 40 degrees. So if you would have told me 5 years ago, Mikey Pipes, you are going to be installing, in 5 years from now, you are going to be installing 2 steam boilers in upstate New York because your YouTube community has grown by leaps and bounds and you are no longer isolated to just like your territory, which is, you know, the Long Island area for plumbing and HVAC. I would have told you a fucking hogwash, bitch. But no. On Thursday, Daniel and I, along with Peter, don't forget about Peter, who's really not that, I figured it out. No, I haven't figured it out yet, but Peter's got to figure it out soon. He's going to figure it out, so he's got to shit or get off the pot, you know what I mean? Well, anyway, he told me 5 years ago that Mikey Pipes, you're going to be installing 2 steam boilers for a YouTube subscriber in upstate New York. I would have told you you're fucking full of shit. You're out of your fucking mind. Why would I be ever doing that? Because we've grown. So Thursday, Daniel and I and Peter, we're going to be leaving here extra early in the morning. And hopefully we're back by 3 or 4 o'clock. That's the goal. Hopefully. Well, Peter, Daniel, and I, we're going to be traveling north. We're going to be taking out 2 Slant Fin gas-fired boilers with domestic coils and putting in 2 Weil-McLain EG35s, gas-fired steam boilers, fully trimmed out with our near boiler piping, drop head already set up, and I'm using cast iron fittings here and all threaded pipe. I am going to maybe make a connection or 2 with the steam mega press, you know, the one with the green dot on it. But they're going to be fully trimmed out. We're going to wheel them right into the back of this multi-family building. We're going to take the 2 ones out, put these 2 in, bing, bang, boom. And we also got to replace 1 radiator that was cracked. So that's going to be fun. And this is happening because of you guys. Every single one of you guys. This is why it's happening. And I am I'm real grateful. It's exciting. It really is exciting. All right, let me have breakfast. Hit you up in a little bit. All right, I'm going to start cutting some pipe and working on the equalizer from this steam main that I'm working on. I have a length of 30-inch pipe coming straight up, and then I have this piping configuration called a drop header. When this water is boiling in the boiler, you know, the water level is right around here, but when this water is boiling in a confined space like this, you know, picture the boiling water on your stove with a lid on it. What happens to the lid? It gets pushed off, right? Well, you have some of that steam wanting to, same with the steam and boiling water wanting to escape out of this one tapping on the top. And this is actually all the way up here. So if you had the opportunity to visualize a steam boiler in operation with glass piping, you would see that water is boiling up here. That's how violent that process is. So what we do when the budget allows is that we create a drop header. Instead of coming straight up and across and picking up our steam main, or coming up and then back with a swing joint and then picking up a steam main with a T, we come back down. And this gives the opportunity for any water that actually makes it up here to drop back down and make its way back to the boiler by means of the equalizer, if it makes it up here, and it will. But when the steam leaves this T here and other Ts, if there are more than one steam mains, this is going to be dry steam leaving the near boiler piping. And that's what we want on a steam heating system. We want dry steam. We don't want wet steam. Many reasons, I'm not going to get into it right now, but we don't want wet steam. We want dry steam. So by doing this, we're going to have that achieved. So I made this drop header here. This is a 30-inch nipple. This is a shoulder nipple. And then it came down here, I think with a 6. And I came across with another little nipple. This is my T to pick up my my distribution piping. I have another nipple here, and then I have a 90 rolled on of an angle like a 45. And I took a measurement from the face, the right face of this nipple coming out, and the face of the left side of the nipple that's in this 90. And I'm taking that and I'm measuring it off of here, and that gives me 1.5 inches. And right now, we are going to be almost at 1.5 inches. The next important thing here to do is that the height of this T, which is here, it's a 2 by 1.25 inches. This 2 by 1.25 inches T is going to be part of our Hartford loop. Now, the Hartford loop, I'm not going to get into that either right now, but the Hartford loop T is halfway at the halfway point of the site level glass, which is right here. And I put a little mark right there. That gives us a certain measurement. And this T, we want to be halfway in that measurement. So let's take a measurement there and we'll cut that piece. There's that line right there. And it looks like we're going to be a 7-inch, maybe a 7.5. Yeah, let's make a 7-inch piece. We're going to do a 7-inch piece of 2-inch to go from this heel T, which is a 2 by 3/4 by 2 T. And I'm going to put my drain here on site. We're going to come up here, put our T, and then come up with a union and a 45 and connect to the rest of our steam main. Let's go cut a piece 7 inches. All right, I already have a piece of 2-inch steel pipe here. I'm going to deburr the pipe. Let's get the foot lever over here. Trying to do this all one-handedly. So you got rid of that burr, similar to copper pipe. I'm going to take a little bit of lube or cutting oil, apply that on the threads, the face of the threads. We're going to bring down our cutting die, set for 2-inch. Bring that there. I'm going to fire up at the foot level. And now we're going to continuously apply cutting oil There's no such thing as too much, ladies and gentlemen, but there is no such thing as too little. There's also a rule for minimum pipe threads. Now, I'm just basing this based on experience right now, but there is a rule for minimum threads, okay? And then I just made it. I'm gonna back this thing out. Now, this is the way I was taught. Some guys like to do it backwards for a second and then pop open the jaws with the lever. I like doing it this way. It's the way I was taught. It's just reversing the path that you just took. And you think these little shavings are gonna have any effect on that? I don't think so. I'm gonna take a rag. And now we're gonna take our rag and put it inside the pipe and clean the oils that remain in there. We don't want any oils in this pipe. We want to clean it as best we can. Okay. So now that that side is cut, reamed, and then cleaned off of oil, let's make a mark 7 inches and let's thread this. Now, there are some gonna say that Mikey pipes, the pipe's too small, you're not gonna be able to thread that with 7 inches. I'm gonna tell you hogwash, watch me do it. All right, made my mark 7 inches. You can't cut it, Mikey pipes. Come on. By the way, never turn the lever on the direction of the thread and then try to run it in that direction while the machine is still turning. Never do that. If you do that, you're gonna kill your machine and you'll be screwed. Okay, a little bit of oil. Drop our die. Make sure she's clear of any shavings from the last threading. A little bit of pressure. Get her started. Now oil her up. You want to be very mindful when you're threading or this machine is in operation. You get something caught up in this while the thing's turning, the torque is going to take you with it. And then you're going to end up like one of those cartoon characters. What the fork? So be very, very careful. Don't end up like a cartoon character on What the Fork.
You can get some root beer. Yeah, root beer. Take some pork knife.
Those who know, know. All right, let's clean the inside of the pipe. I like to ball this up, get into like a little pointy thing and shove it in there and then carefully like clean it out. All right, here's that pipe. I think I made it a little bit longer. Perfect, actually dead on. Okay, now, some of you guys like to use, Teflon tape. PTFE tape. I like to use Teflon tape as well, but for this portion of the video, we're going to use some lamp wick. And that's what was done in the old school days. And I'm going to show you how we do it. And you're going to be like an old school day. Let's go. And essentially, we are just wrapping the threads with the string, which is the lamp wick. Okay, some of you guys like to just go around crazy with it. I like to go around crazy with it too as well, but for theatrics and for if I ain't showing, I didn't do it, I am taking an extra moment and wrapping it perfect into each groove of each thread along the way. And then I am going to go back once I get a lot of these finished like that. And I'm going to go back to the first one, and then I'm wrapping from the outside of the pipe threads, working in a clockwise motion. Right, there's a reason for everything I'm doing. I'm working in a clockwise motion away from me. Right, because as I tighten this, as I thread this in and as I tighten it up, we're going with the threads. Okay, so there's that. And I'm going to take some, actually, you know what? I am going to take some Teflon tape if there's any here. Yep, I'm going to use the Blue Monster. And I'm going to take the Teflon tape. Ooh, 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 ooh. Now, what I could also have done, I could have made up that T. Just like, hopefully this thing spins on. I'm going to wrap the threads 5 or 6 times. Okay. So one side is the lamp wick, the other side is the Blue Monster. We're going to take some Pro Dope and we're going to generously apply the dope to the threads. Don't worry about having too much on there. You can always wipe it off when you're done screwing it in, and wipe off the rest and put it back in your container. All right, no need to like throw it all out, but there's that T. Now let's thread this into the bottom of that hilt. Okay, there we go. I'm gonna take my wrench. We're gonna tighten that up. And then I'm gonna follow up with another nipple and a 45 to connect to that rolled 90 with a union. So nipple, union, 45, nipple, union, another nipple, 45, another nipple, connect to that 90, be a good thing. Fast forward to 11:45. I had originally had too short of a nipple here. I had, wow, even with the 24, took the breath out of me. I'm not used to turning a wrench. So our near boiler piping is just about complete. I'm gonna come up here with a random nipple, maybe about 2 feet tall, and we'll thread or cut that on site as needed. I'm gonna put a close 1.25 inch nipple there to create my Hartford loop. The teeth here somewhere. Let's see the nipple and the nipple and the elbow. But a little shim there. We're good. We don't want to have this to be a low point because water will gather here, and as steam hits it, it's gonna bang, you know, like that. You don't want that. Every time you hear that bang sound, that is water violently exploding when steam hits it. Keep that in mind. I hope you enjoyed this little uncensored video. If you did, thumbs up the video. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe. Thank you. Get to the next one. Be well. God bless. Stay safe.